Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode of Aaron's Opinion, the podcast for blind people where we speak about critical issues in the blindness community and all other issues from across the universe and galaxy. All right, let's go down there to Jamaica today and talk to Bobby Chin, courtesy there of Tisha and Pita Gay, as she's known in the community. I asked Pita Gay, who should I talk to next? She said, Bobby Chin. Bobby Chin, you have quite you're as you said over the phone a couple of days back, mate. Your life has been just cool. You've had a blast so far in life. So really give me the full unedited journey of your whole existence, man. So who's Bobby Chin? I'll mute my microphone and let you walk through the whole life journey as much as you
Okay.
want to tell. Go right ahead, man.
Okay. I was born in Kingston, Jamaica. I attended St. Teresa's prep school and I did my common entrance and went to St. George's College. I graduated from St. George's College and I did some time over UWI, University of the West Indies. Then I studied in mass communications, which turned me into a graphic artist at a very, very young age. Then I had a love for music. So I got into DJing. I was like really, really good at it because anything that I get into, I try to put 150%. So I started in playing music and doing parties and stuff. And I noticed because I was the youngest, so the older members on the crew, the DJ crew, they wouldn't give me a chance. I had to play when everybody was walking out. So I would play at the end of parties, but then people would start coming back in. So that's when I realized I had a certain talent. Then I met my cousin who came to Jamaica, and she told me her husband had a DJ group, and if I wanted to join in Washington D.C. So I said, sure, I'd love to do it because that was a wider and bigger scale. So I went there, not knowing that it was really like hardcore, like really really hardcore. And I'm from an uptown area, so I'm not used to that kind of hardcore music. But anyway, I went, and I remember the first night being there, they put me in a room and said, "This is your bedroom," and I was like, "Oh, cool." So I got in the room, and then there was just a mattress and a TV, and I was like, oh, "All right." I was tired, so I just said, "Let me go sleep." And about 4 in the morning, I got up, I saw a light shining in my face. It was the cops. And they were shining a light in my face, and one of the police said, "Oh, this is not him." So apparently they were looking for the guy that I went there to work for, and this is my first day. So I said, "Okay, it's just the first day. Maybe they wanted to look for him because of something, or I don't know." But anyways, I like maybe a couple days after I was driving in the car with him, and he pulled up beside somebody, and took his window down and then said to the guy like, what's up? Pull over, let me talk to you. I need to get my money or whatever. And the guy took off. So we're on a high speed chase throughout the whole of Washington D.C. trying to chase this guy. So the guy got away. So I was like, what am I really getting into here? So we couple days after again though, we pulled up at a restaurant, saw the guy's car. And then when we walked in the restaurant, the guy saw us and just took off over the counter and went through the kitchen and ran. So I said, okay, I guess I'm into this kind of life now. So, anyways, I was there for a couple of years, but I really, really built my name. I became real famous in Washington, D.C. I won a lot of competitions, and I became really, really famous there. So I had a daughter. I had two older daughters and two younger ones. Well, one younger one, and the younger one moved to Florida with her mom, then I got a call that my youngest daughter may have had leukemia. So I dropped everything I was doing there in DC and I moved to Florida. Then started doing the music and started gaining a big name again in Florida. And huge name in Florida. So, become like the king of Florida. And the name of that group was called Black Chiney, which I am the part owner of up to this date. It's owned by me. My partner name is Dwayne Chinqui Super Dupes. We both owned it, and then we have other people that we hired: Walshe, English, Brandon Lee. This is in the early years, Special K, and we became really famous. So Dupes then got into the producing, and I continued the sound with Willie. So you can basically say that me and Willie are the part owners right now. Dupes is always going to be an owner because he was there in the beginning. And playing parties in Miami almost every week, traveling the whole world. I've been to China, I've been to Japan 12 times, I've been to Nigeria, Lagos, I've been to every South American country, every Caribbean island. I've been all over the world. Aaron, if you want to come back in, then I'll start again the journey.
All great so far, man. Absolutely. This is really, I knew this was going to be really incredible. And this is really amazing stuff, man. You're doing great. Yeah,
Yeah. So
absolutely.
I'll continue. Yeah, I'll continue from what happened.
Sure.
Oh, let me backtrack a little bit. When I first came to America after living in Jamaica, I was applied for by my parents, who are, rest in peace, my dad and my mom. Um, so my first stop in America was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I was living there with my parents. I was just working odd jobs. I was working in a Chinese restaurant. One night, we're living in a nice apartment and stuff. And one night, somebody came knocking on the door, and I said, my dad went to the door and said, who is this? And they said something like, "Is Anthony there?" And my dad says, "Nobody here by that name." So we all went back to sleep. I was sleeping on the couch in front of the TV, right by the door. So literally 5 minutes after, the door came down. They kicked in the door. It was six men with ski mask, and they were just asking us for the money. They was roughing up everybody. They put me on the couch. They turned me over, and they put a pillow over my head and put the gun down in the pillow. And they were like dragging my mom all over the place asking for the money. They took what they could take. All my little savings that I did, they took all of that. They took a boom box that I just bought. They took everything. They took my wallet and everything. And the last guy with the gun on my head, he was the last to leave because apparently he wanted to shoot. But the others ran and left him. And we called the police. And how Tulsa, Oklahoma it's there's a suburb and there's I would say the ghetto side is on the north side. So they block the road, and I guess the cops saw their car or whatever and started chasing them. Anyways, they ran, and one of them ran into a 7-Eleven, and he told the guy that was working in the 7-Eleven to call the cops. And instead of calling, not he told him to call a cab. Sorry, but the worker called the cops instead because the guy was like breathing real hard and looked like he was in trouble. So anyway, the cops got there, they locked him up, and they found my mom's watch in his pocket. So they all got caught, and my parents were really scared of going to court, so they didn't do anything. They didn't turn up to court. And the prosecutor had asked them, why did they break in the house and rob us? And they told the prosecutor it was the wrong house. So I could have lost my life um, by just stupid criminals, But I then moved back to Jamaica, and that's when I literally said I'm done with living in America because of that. Because I've never been through anything like that in my whole entire life. Anyways, from there, when I came back here, is when I went to DC, and then, as I said, I went to Florida. Being in Florida, we got so big and so popular. I started to work with a group over there called Poison Dirt. So they're in Tampa, and I'm in West Palm Beach. So every time I had to do a function, I had to drive all the way to Tampa. So on one weekend, I went up there with my brother and my friend, and we usually spend the night there because it's too late to drive back. But my brother wanted to come home, so we started driving. I don't know if you know what the 75 is. It's like a long highway with it's called Alligator Alley. It's like swamps on both sides. If you're driving in the day, you can see the alligators just laying there. But anyways, I was in the back seat, and my friend was in the passenger seat, and my little brother was driving. So I fell asleep. When I woke up, I could feel the car flipping from front to back, front to back. And I just used my hands and braced myself. And then it finally ended up in the swamp where all the alligators are. Anyways, I'm in this car. I'm looking, there's no headrest in the front seats and there's no passengers. So my brother and my friend got ejected while the car was flipping. So I climbed up through the sunroof. It was a two-door car. And I jumped out into the water and I ran back to the road. And I was looking for my friend and my brother. I found my friend and his head was like split open. So I told him to just lay there. And at this time, I have a couple broken bones too, ribs and stuff. But I said, let me find my brother. I couldn't find him, but my friend got up with his head open and helping me start looking. And he we couldn't find him, but we heard somebody gasping for breath. So when we did find him, his head was open too, and he was just gasping for breath. So we both just sat there waiting for somebody to help. And I don't know where this lady came from, but she came and she had blankets. I don't know how she had blankets in her car. She gave us blankets and she called the emergency service, and they came quickly with one ambulance. So they took my brother first, and then the next one come. And my wallet and my cell phone was right there in the middle of the road. So she brought them to me, and I called, to let people know. So then we went to the hospital. They checked us out. We got stitches, casts, all different kind of. So my brother was more serious, so he stayed a while, and he had to have plastic surgery. So they had to cut his hairline and drag it forward. And up to this day, he's not 100%, but he's alive. Praises be to God, and we survived it all. Yes, and went back to Miami. Then that was a group that I was on called Poison Dart, and then so I went back to Miami, and then I met Dupes, and me and him started to do Poison Dart, and we were touring as Poison Dart, but everybody used to like us a lot, so we then started to try to do our own thing. They gave us a weird name because we were Chinese, half Chinese. They started to call us Ping and Pong, which I never liked, but we just work with it. And then, building our name, building our name, building our name. Then we become really, really famous, as I was telling you before. So we changed our name to Black Chiney because we were half black and half Chinese. So we changed our name to Black Chiney. And I'm going to bring Aaron in here and then continue my journey.
Absolutely. Yeah, really, really good stuff, man. Yeah. Black China. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure, I know you're right. It was very famous, when you were in that group. It sounds a little familiar. I don't know if I've heard the music, before. Probably I have without realizing it. Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So then what happened from Black China in Miami? Then what?
Okay, so now this is where it gets interesting because
Well, for
you
the
know,
for the record, everything you've said is this whole thing is interesting. This is a blast. Oh
right?
my
And
God.
I'm skipping over a lot, but I'm just
That's fine. You're getting the blast in there, man. You're getting the journey. Don't worry. You're
right.
doing
All right. So now we're Black Chiney. I open up uh, a record store in Miami, and just doing business, doing the thing. We're touring the world, becoming real famous, pulling a lot of crowds every party that we go, and we were just getting into CDs. We were making CDs, and the CDs were becoming really, really popular. Mixtapes, and we couldn't ask for more fame or wealth because money was coming in, and we were touring. Excuse me. So now there's a lot of problems that come with fame. There's people that want to tag along, and there's bad people and there's good people. So I was living in Coral Springs in a nice townhouse, garage, everything, and I did music, and music is mostly on the weekend. So during the week, all I would do is shop. So I used to go to this store. I'm pretty sure you know it, called TJ Maxx. You know, I used to buy stuff there all the time. So on one occasion, I went in there and I said to the guy, and I'm glad I'm gonna tell this story because I haven't told it that much, so it clears up some discrepancies. So I met this guy. I went up to the corner. He was like, "Oh, you're Bobby Chin of Black China." I said, "Yes." So he says, "Yo, just let me into some of your events. Give me some tickets and stuff. Every now and then I'll give you discounts." So I said, "Okay, why not?" I was buying some bed sheets and I got some discounts and some little gifts and stuff on 3 occasions. Um, So one day I went to somewhere, some Caribbean island to do a show, and then I went to Atlanta. I'll never forget this day. Soon as I landed in Atlanta, I got in my hotel, turned on everything, laptops and phone and Wi-Fi, and logged on and everything. And um, I got a phone call from my house. It was a girl called Camille that always takes care of me and take care of my stuff. So I said, "Camille, what's up?" She said, "Bobby, a detective came to your house to talk to you." I was like, "For what?" She said, "Well, he left a number." So I called back the number, and he was like, he told me his name, detective, whatever of the whatever area police department, and that I needed to turn myself in. And I was like, "For what?" He was like, I mean, you're involved in a scheme to rob stores. I was like, "What?" So I was like, "What?" So I said, "No, no, no." So I didn't know. I've never been arrested before in my life. So I called a lawyer, and the lawyer told me not to talk to him. So I came back to Miami and I visited the lawyer, and the lawyer said, "You don't have to talk to him. If you want you to come in and turn in yourself, we'll go there. You turn in yourself, you don't talk to him, and we'll bond you out." So I didn't know what's going on, Aaron. So I went to the lawyer's office. Me and him went to the police station. As soon as we got there, the detective was walking up towards me. And I remember, I'll never forget this day. He walks up towards me and say, "Oh, you're Robert Lee." And I say, "Yes, I'm here to turn myself in." As soon as I said that, he slapped handcuffs on me and I'm turning myself in. Right? So my lawyer said, "Don't worry about it. You're gonna go through the process of being arrested, and we're gonna bond you out," which, yeah, the lawyer told me is gonna cost me $20,000. I was like, "What did I didn't do anything." Anyways, apparently the guy in the store was giving his family and friends stuff. And I just got caught on the camera with me receiving stuff that I paid for. And I told the police that I paid for my stuff. He didn't want to hear that. So when I went in the back room and he was giving me my fingerprints and stuff, he was like, "Do you want to talk to me?" And I was like, "I don't know what to tell you because I don't even know this guy that you're talking about." He was mentioning other people that, is a part of the organized scheme to defraud. That was a charge. And grand theft. Two charges, two third-degree felonies. So I didn't know. I don't even know what a felony is back in those days. I don't know. So I was just going through the motions, and I remember the lawyer saying, "Do not talk to him." So I obeyed the lawyer, and the guy was like, "You can talk to me, off the record." And then I said, "No, I have nothing to say," because I hired a top lawyer. So I just followed the instructions. Anyway, he put me in a room. He locked me in a cell, and it was cold as ice in there. And it's just a cell. And he took a magnet and block. I'm claustrophobic, so he took a magnet and blocked the glass that's on the door, so I couldn't see outside. So I'm laying on the floor. So what I did, because I'm claustrophobic, I have to lay on the floor and I have to look at a little light under the door just to stay focused so I don't get a panic attack. So that's what I was doing. It's like, "Oh, it's going to take 1 hour. You're just going to get processed and you're going to bail your cell phone." And okay, so I said, fine. This is 1 in the day. 11 o'clock in the night, he came to me. So, "Oh, we're going to transfer you to the main jail because once you get locked up in Coral Springs, you have to go to Broward County and process again. So the same process you do in Coral Springs, you have to do in Broward County." Anyway, I'm handcuffed to like 6 other prisoners in the back of a little paddy wagon. And he drove me to Broward County. So we're on the way to Broward County. I don't know nothing what's going on. So anyways, and then we got to Broward County. The same process that you do in Coral Springs, it's just repetitive. Fingerprint again, all different kind of stuff over the same things again. Anyways, they put me in a cell. So the first cell that I got into, Aaron, believe this or not, it's just me and one other person. And it was a guy, but the guy he had long hair like a wig on, and he also had breasts. So this was a guy. And he was talking all sort of crap. So as soon as that door opened, I ran out. And I went into a next cell. So in the next cell now is a bunch of murderers and cocaine dealers, and they were saying, excuse me, they were like asking questions to everybody, like, "What are you in here for? What are you in for?" This one was like murder, drug conviction, da da da, and then it came around to me. So they said, "What are you in here for?" I said, "Murder." But I killed a lot of DJs in my life in battles, so they didn't know what I was talking about, DJ battles. So then I noticed everybody getting a number where I guess with that number you could make a phone call. I wasn't getting one, so I was like, "Wow, why am I not getting one? Am I going to be deported or something?" Anyways, when one of the police came there, I spoke to him, and he's like, "You're not getting a number here because we're going to transfer you again to a bigger facility because it's like a medical prison because I'm diabetic." So some guy was telling me, "Oh, it's better over there. It's more quiet and stuff." So I got there. I'm in the line over there now. There's a guy behind me, a Caucasian older guy, and I asked him. I said, "What are you in here for?" He says he's a doctor. So I said, "Oh." He says he wrote illegal prescriptions. So I was like, "Wow." It's like everybody in here. Anyways, they gave us a suit to put on, and we got in and we went in, and we're in this big bullpen, and then until they assign you a cell. But I'm thinking it was more quiet and stuff. I'm thinking, yes, I'm in a better place until we start going to the cells. Then I realized, yes, it's medical, but it's also mad people in here, crazy people. The first cell that I walked past, there was a guy standing on his head and singing. So I was like, what the hell? Anyways, they put me in a cell, and it's like 12 cells in a U. And in the middle, there's a table where you, in the morning, you can come out and get breakfast and watch TV and stuff. So, as I said, Aaron, and I'm not used to this, so I got to my cell and I was crying. So I guess one of the cops saw and came to me, and he asked me what's wrong, and I'm saying, I want to kill myself. So some psychologist came to me and she's like, if you're gonna kill yourself, we're gonna transfer you to a different cell, which is all rubber. So if you run in the wall, you're gonna bum off the wall and come. So I was like, no, 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 I'm okay. And then she looked at my paperwork and she said, but you're gonna be out of here soon. You know what I'm saying? So I just waited until it was 1 o'clock the next day, and then they let me out. When you go to jail, Aaron, and they let you out, they just push you on the street. So I had no wallet, no belt, no nothing, no cell phone. So I had to walk to the main road. And the only thing that was in sight was a strip club called Cheetahs. So I went in there and I was talking to one of the strippers and she gave me a call. So I called a cab and I took the cab straight to my lawyer's office. And then got my cell phone, got my belt and everything, my wallet. Did some paperwork with my lawyer, with the bondsman, and then I went home. I'm gonna let you in, Aaron, because the saga continues.
Man, you should have told. Why didn't you tell me to bring a red stripe? This is amazing. This is this is fabulous. And by the way, you didn't. I never pictured the end of this little saga, this little your little stint in jail.
Yeah.
I never knew that strippers were that friendly. I mean, nobody told me that. You didn't tell me strippers were that nice. Come
Well,
on, you
I
didn't
was
get out of
desperate,
jail, you go to the stripper. I mean, what type of person are you really? So what
but
I want to know, this is by the way, I just
yeah,
got to come in here and say a couple things to you.
yes, yes,
I am on a serious note really impressed
right,
that you had the wherewithal and know to not talk to the detective and to say, no, I'm not talking to you and I'm talking to an attorney. Do you know how many people get
don't know that,
sentenced get sentenced to serious time, hard time in prison just
right,
because they don't talk to an attorney? That really impresses me about your maturity and your character as a person, the fact that you did that. The other crazy thing that you did, which you got
right,
lucky, pretending that you were in there for murder. You're actually what you're supposedly supposed to say if they ask you what you in here for. You're supposed to say and by the way, this is explicit for adults only, so I can say whatever I damn please.
right.
You're supposed to say none of your fucking business. Don't talk to me. That's what you're
Well,
supposed to say.
yeah, but I didn't
But
want
you did.
nobody to attack me.
But the problem is you handled it right because you
Yeah.
you you equaled with them. You said, fine, if you're a murderer, well, I'll be a murderer too.
But they didn't
So
know I'm a murderer because I killed all the DJs in
no, I
Baton.
get it. I get it. But
Yeah.
that was both the right and the wrong answer. Now,
Right.
then again, first thing you do when you get out of jail, okay, I'm going to the strip club. First thing, talk to the stripper. Okay, I mean, man, oh man, that's
Yeah.
that's some that's that adds to the whole equation. The other thing
Right.
too is yes, this retail theft, fraud. Obviously, you didn't do it.
No.
It obviously not. It is in America, as you soon learned, a serious, serious problem. And this is an ongoing problem that a lot of stores have, and a lot of people get caught up with that charge. It's very common.
Right. I never
So
knew what organized scheme to defraud was.
yeah, what it
I never.
means is that there's these groups of people that go around and
Right.
they steal from stores in teams. The other thing they do is they manipulate the computer system of the store's computers to make it look like people are buying things that they are or are not buying. So you
Right.
can easily get caught up. So what I want to know is, so how did this whole saga end, and what was the end result of all this? How did you get out of this whole mess with your attorney, and how did they prove that you obviously didn't do it? And then what was the end of this mess?
Okay. So I started to go to court. As you know, as you get arrested, you get bond and you start court. So they kept doing a continuance, a continuance. I'm literally like continuance every single month. Or come back next 2 months, continuance. My lawyer, he wouldn't even show up sometimes, unless I'm there to give him money or something. And one day I'm sitting in there because every time you go to court now, I'm like a seasoned lawyer now because I see all these cases in front of me, drug cases, murders. So there was this black public defendant, pretty girl, very, very pretty. So I went, as you know, I'm a charmer. So I went up to her and I was like, "Can you take a look at my case?" And she looked at it and she said, I told her I was paying the lawyer a lot of money. And she was like, "You don't have to pay him nothing. This case is going to be, the lawyer could have said, reduce the charge to a misdemeanor and then it will be done." You know what I'm saying? But when you're on a green card, you have to be very careful of what you're doing because you can get deported. Immigration will come and pick you up. So I wrote it out until the judge one month said, "Look, if you're not going to charge this guy, we're going to set him free." So the prosecution had no chance of winning. So what she did, she was like, "Okay, I'm going to enroll him into pre-trial diversion." I never even know what pre-trial diversion is. Anyways, my lawyer took it, and the terms were like, if you complete 1 year of not getting in trouble or doing anything out of the way or whatever, you have to do these classes and stuff. Then at the end of that year, um, your case would be thrown out and come off your record. So I was like, okay. And my Willie, which is Willie Chin, said to me, that's my partner, he said, "Bobby, what you worrying about? You don't give trouble. So in 1 year, it'll be all done." So I remember him saying that to me perfectly. Anyways, I wasn't taking no chances, Aaron. So what I did, I went to Belize, got a house, got a car, sent my cars down there, all my famous stuff down there. And I was just saying, just in case they decide to deport me, I'll have a house and my cars down there in Belize. So having a house down there now, what I do now, the judge gave me permission to travel because that's my job. I have to travel for work. The prosecutor never wanted it, but the judge said you cannot stop him from earning a living. So I was traveling. So when they thought I was touring and I was at my house in Belize and I'd come up for every court case. And then until it finally got thrown out. And something, Aaron, the funny thing about when you get arrested in America, if you're not a US citizen, even if you are, once you're traveling, the moment you enter into immigration, they're gonna put you in the back room. And they're gonna try to update your case, look at an update at your case and stuff. But as I said, I'm not a troublemaker. lived in America for like 40 years, so I just did what they told me to do and just remain humble and remain quiet. Because that's one good thing about not being a troublemaker is that you don't have to worry if you're not giving trouble. But sometimes trouble find you. So like one time I was coming through the airport and the they put me in the back room and I don't ask questions. I just wait until they give me back my passport. But on this case now, I asked the immigration officer, "Why am I in the back room?" And he told me, "Oh, it's showing in the computer where you were caught with excessive amount of cash." I was like, "Me?" I was like, "How about I just give you my bank account, you log into it, and then you tell me how much excessive cash is in that." Anyways, I got off all that, and then traveling became free for me again, you know? So that was thrown out, and I completed the course and everything. So, but now me having a property in Belize and a car, and I still lived in Miami. So Belize became my vacation home. And I was working in Miami and doing my thing, still living in Miami. Um, One day now, I'm diabetic, so I went to public supermarket and I just bought a brand new Mercedes. I went to public saying, you know those fountains where you get your drink. So I got some iced tea. But when I put the straw in there and took like three big gulps, it was just the syrup. So it was really, really sweet. So anyways, I got in my car. I told him it wasn't working, and I got some water and I drank some water. Got in my car. As I'm pulling up into a parking space in front of my house, that's all I remember, Aaron. I just remember the car taking off at 200 miles per hour. So I ran over a ramp like a median and dropped on the other side of the road and ran straight in somebody's garage, hit the bikes that were in there, hit the back of the wall in there, and then when I came to, I realized that I was in somebody else's garage, and I hit the garage door off, ripped it off, everything. So they called the ambulance. When the ambulance came, you know, just by talking to the paramedics, they told me that I got a diabetic seizure. So what happens is that my foot hit the gas and just wouldn't come off it. So I think I'm stuck with $20,000 everywhere I go. The lawyer was $27,000 that time. And now the garage, to fix the garage was $20,000. The insurance company dropped me. They changed their name. And I went to the hospital and, I got over it and paid for everything and started living my life again. And I'm going to bring you in again, Aaron, and tell
Man,
you
oh
a
man.
concept.
Well, that's just awful. I mean, it's like everywhere you turn, it's like every day is like an adventure. I mean, that's
Yes,
awful.
it is.
To basically to go to Belize, which many people do that, and Belize is
Yes,
very open to foreigners, and it's very well
right.
known, but then to go there and then to go all the way down there and then to have a diabetic seizure and then, but then it's like how are you survive? Some people, I'm 100% convinced that God looks out for certain people, and one of the people God looks out for is of course Bobby Chin, because the stuff that you've been through and survived, most normal people should not be able to survive that. Going 200 miles an hour, going through a garage, then
Right,
coming to that's just bizarre. I mean, that's horrible, and that's just that is just absolutely bizarre. I mean,
right,
that's horrible. So my God, then you got the bills, you got the legal stuff, the health stuff, the this stuff.
right.
You're a project. I mean, my God, go easy.
Okay.
Then what?
So, all right. So now, I'm going back and forth to Belize, back and forth to Belize. So I'm at my house in Belize one day and, I went to the supermarket and I got a girlfriend there and thing and very, very pretty girl. And because Belize is a really beautiful place and a nice country. People there are just loving. Well, the people that came around me. And I was driving one day. Everything I tell you is all facts. Aaron, you can Google these things. Um, I'm driving home. I see this pretty girl. She's walking, exercising, and she's walking. But when I turn the corner, there's two pit bulls, huge pit bulls that was chasing my car. So I know they can't keep up with me. So I was just driving. Anyway, I look in my rearview mirror, and this is how I know I'm blessed by God. And I look in my rearview mirror, and I see the dogs ripping this girl to pieces. So what do I do now? Because I'm scared of dogs too. But I reverse right back up to where she is, and the dogs are there. And I open the passenger door, and I put my hand out, and I say, "Give me your hand." And while I'm pulling her into my car, the dogs are coming into the car too. So I let her go back a little bit, and when they backed off, then I pulled her in quickly, and then I took her to the emergency room. And there was just blood all over my car. Anyways, she survived it. Thank God. Her name is Debbie. She used to work at the bank there in Belize. It was First Caribbean Bank, yes, and she survived it. And me and her became really close friends. And she had a huge house, so she was going to move to the city. This is in Belmopan where all this happened. So she had a huge house there, So I moved from my house. She gave me her house, and I started living there. And we still communicate. I need to call her. I haven't heard from Debbie in a while, And that Channel 7 came to my house, Channel 5, all the news stations came to my house to talk about it because it was a big thing where the dogs, um, was tearing this girl apart. But anyways, I started living there now with this pretty girl, Aaron, really pretty, long hair and nice shape, and so we're there living together. I'm still going back and forth doing my shows. I'm touring, still doing my shows and stuff, and wasn't paying much attention to my relationship because I was touring the whole world, and people used to tell me that she was cheating, but I never believed. So. And I wasn't interested in people talking because people spread a lot of rumors and stuff. Anyways, I had a driver in Belize. I never told him to do this, Aaron. So one night he called me and was like, Bobby, I trailed her. I was like, why are you doing that? You know? Anyways, he trailed her to some guy's house and he's in the bushes laying down looking through the window. So he told me, he was like, oh, well, Bobby, she just took her top off. So I sent her a text and I said, you just took your top off? Then she got scared because how would I know that? And my driver was right there in the bushes, Joe. So she put the top back on and she and him ran out on the balcony to look if I'm outside somewhere, but it wasn't me. I'm at home in my bed. It was my driver. But anyways, I caught her and, I did forgive her and stuff, but she never gave up either. So one day she went to his house again and she was coming out of his house and she pulled out and hit some guy off his bike. So when I got there, I parked like a little distance away and I called the nurse and I say, because the guy was lying, he wasn't moving. I said, go and check on this guy and see if he's alive. When she got there, she said, yes, he's alive and ambulance is coming, but he's just not responding. He's breathing though. So I said, okay, thank God. So now she couldn't tell me that she wasn't cheating because look, she was leaving his house when she crashed. So I broke up with her and then she went on her way. And at this point, I was just crazy because in relationships, every angle that I turn, it it ended up in a dead end or some bad situation. Because I was married, and I was married in Miami. Let me go back a couple instances. I was married in Miami, and then I came to Jamaica to visit my mom for my birthday. And I opened my laptop, and it went into my wife's Facebook Messenger, and I saw her talking to this guy, and she was telling him how she loved him and whatever. So I got really mad and I broke up with her. And at that point, I was like really depressed. I was thinking of turning on my car in the garage and just laying there and go to sleep forever. Because I really did like this girl. I like every woman that I ever talked to, but I keep getting bad situations with them. But anyways, we broke up, and the part that hurt about this one, Aaron, is that the guy looked just like me that she was cheating, and only he was a better looking version. So that hurt real bad. So uh, my ego was shot. I had no self esteem. I didn't know what to do, so I had to start living wild. Start going on many dates, start sleeping with all different kind of women, all places, all over. Just 100% out of control. And I'm gonna bring you in, Aaron, to,
Man, oh
to
man,
say so.
yeah, you really, you're a very likable guy, and this unfortunately happens to a
All
lot of
right,
people. A lot of people live these double lives, and that's an example of that. And it's not at all surprising. A lot of American people all over the world do that. Have, the girl in every port, couple different relationships on, couple sticks in the fire,
right. But
oh
I
man,
was
that's very
also,
common.
yeah, I was cheating, so I guess I got my karma. I wasn't 100% faithful.
Yeah, well,
So
maybe, but
yeah,
she wasn't 100% faithful with you if you caught her without her top.
that's true.
Right? So
Yeah,
she's the one who needs to put her top on. And I would have
yeah,
texted if I was spying on her. I would have just texted, "Put your top on," is what I would have texted. But then again, there's those things can go terribly, terribly wrong. There's so many weird stories of people like doing those sting operations, and then it goes awry, and then so you got to be really careful about that too.
right.
Man, oh man, yeah, yeah. I think you were saying how you had a restaurant in Belize, right?
Yes, I'm getting there.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're getting there.
Yeah, so
We'll keep getting there. We're listening.
right. So I started doing a lot of shows now in Belize, and you know, uh, building up my name there and stuff. So I became real popular there and thing, and doing a lot of shows. So I got a call one day from this guy. Said he wanted me to play for his daughter's sweet 16. So I said, okay, no problem. I'm driving up to this guy. His house is like about 2 hours from my house. And I'm driving up to his house, turn into the driveway, and it's like a mile before you get to his house. And his house is huge. I was like, wow. So he came out, little skinny guy and stuff, We became good friends and thing. And he's like, how much do you charge? And I told him, and he just paid me right there, all in US dollars. Then he asked me if I have a card to come back to the party. And I was like, no. So he gave me a car too to drive. So, anyways, when I started to do some research and I realized that I'm working with the Mexican cartel here. So I just did what I need to do and, paid me and I did a show and, his family is a very nice family, treated me good and everything. And then now, so let me see where I should go. Okay, so I opened one restaurant first. It was a nice little diner. Um, it was the only Jamaican restaurant in Belize, and it became very, very popular. But the restaurant was draining me because when you go into business, you don't see no money till long after. So it was draining me. I was living in a house. I was sleeping on an air bed. My girlfriend at the time was working with me at the restaurant, so we slept on an air bed. We had a TV, a nice flat screen, but it was a nice air bed, the most expensive ones you could buy at Walmart. The house had a nice little jacuzzi, so we could take baths and stuff. So the restaurant grew until I came across an opportunity to work with the next restaurant, which was 10 times bigger and better looking than mine. And it was on a shopping center where there are apartments above it. So I could get an apartment up there, which is fully furnished, the penthouse, and just come downstairs to work. So I was doing both restaurants at the same time. So I decided, no, it's too much. If you want my food, you're gonna have to come to one location. So I closed the the first one, which was the best one, the most successful one, but I closed it. Hold on, let me get something here. All right, so I closed that one. I'm just snacking on something while my sugar, doesn't get too low. So started running this restaurant. It became really popular too. I actually got it from a friend called Jim. He's a retired New Yorker. and he bought a restaurant in Belize, but he couldn't run it. So I started working with him, and then I took it over until I finally just bought everything, buy him out. Mhm. Then I started working 2 shifts, morning shift and night shift. Then I lived beside the penthouse on the third floor, and I met a white girl. Her name was Lindsay. She was really, really pretty. Like she was like, I mean, compare her to that girl from that lifeguard show. What's her name? Aaron, jump in here and tell me her name.
I know what you're talking. I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't know. I honestly don't know the characters of the show, so I wouldn't know that person's
She
name.
got caught on a sex tape with her boyfriend. He's the guy from the band. Um,
Well, a lot of people get caught doing that. I don't know. I don't know who it was. A lot of people do stuff like that. I don't know. It could have been a lot of people. I don't
but
know. Who
anyway, she was
knows?
really
Yeah.
pretty.
Okay.
So she would come downstairs and eat in my restaurant. Then she opened a call center, which is on the same plaza as my restaurant. So she would make sure her employees had lunch at my restaurant. So the restaurant was packed every day, packed every single day. Anyway, me and her used to do a lot of business together. You know, she would buy everybody in my restaurant iPhones. And there was a white guy living beside me from Germany. I'm in the middle, and then she's on the end. She had the big, big penthouse. So I remember her telling me one day, she says, Bobby, I'm coming to Belize. And blah, blah, blah. I said, okay. Then she said, 3 o'clock, 3 a.m. in the morning, she texted me and said she just landed. So I was like, there's no plane that lands 3 a.m. at Belize. But when she sent me a picture or whatever. So I just, afterwards, I realized she took a private jet. No, she used to bring me money to change for her into Belizean currency. And it was a large sum. So I had a couple well-known people in Belize that could handle that kind of stuff. So I took her to this guy, and the guy was like, "Okay, go in the office, go in my office, lock the door, and count the money." And this is the honest to God truth, no lie. I got in there, we started counting the money, and then I don't know how it moved from starting counting money from me starting to have sex with her on the guy's desk. Anyway, we finished having sex. Then we told the guy to come and we counted the money. We paid for everything, and then she got her conversion, and then we went back to our houses and back to the restaurant to eat and stuff. But up to this day, that guy don't know that we had sex on his desk, and there was alcohol there and everything to my comfort, hand towels, alcohol, and stuff. Anyways, I just never. I was too busy with restaurants. I wasn't paying attention to her, but I kind of realized that the white guy that's on my right, she always asking me questions about him. And she was asking me a lot of questions about him, like what does he, what does he come down to the restaurant and do? What is he saying? I don't know. He's just a weird white guy. So he came and spoke to me one day, and he said, Bobby, don't plug your phone in the wall. I was like, why? Because when you plug your phone in the socket in the wall, that's how they tap your phone. And he says that the girl, she came down to investigate him. I never believe anything he was saying because he doesn't even charge his phone in the socket. He charges it on a battery. So I was talking to her one day and she was like, that guy is into human trafficking. So I was like, oh my God. So I still never paid it no mind because I don't see him as somebody like that. Anyways, I don't even know where she is now because, I heard he got arrested and then she just disappeared off the face of the earth. I don't know where she is. I don't know. The whole that thousands of dollar call center that she built, I don't even know what happened to it. you know. But I eventually was under a lot of pressure with my restaurant and COVID. This is when COVID came in and the business was starting to struggle, so I sold it. And then after I sold it, I opened a food truck and that was doing really good. But then COVID came back with a second wave and killed that too. So then now, after COVID kind of died out, I went to open what was this now? I opened an ice cream parlor. It was really, really nice. Really, really nice. Very pretty. And then I started to run a club, which is on the same shopping center as the ice cream shop. So I had a club, I had an ice cream shop, and I was doing something else too. I don't remember. But anyways, things started to boom, and the ice cream shop was going good. I was doing the production, which I never told you this. I got into the production side of music. That's what Dubs does. He's very, very famous. He's a five-time Grammy Award winning producer. So I got into producing. I actually have a track that I produced with Rihanna that's soon to be released. So I was still earning a living and living in the best houses that you can possibly live in. I had cars, my Lexus, my 4Runner, my 350Z, my BMW. I was just living the life, and running this club. Now the club is like it's sort of like a strip club, but I never allow the girls to strip. But I know they work for the club, so they just roam in the club. They'll just roam around, and if they wanted somebody to do business with, they would go upstairs because the club had 7 bedrooms upstairs. And so I was just doing the club scene there, working, going to work, living my life, doing my thing, doing the restaurant and stuff. And then the ice cream parlor, sorry. And then from there, I had a next girl that I was talking to. She was really, really pretty too, but I ended up cheating on her with a next girl in the club. And she found out, and the next girl and her got in a fight in the club one night. And then she moved out. She took everything because her mom bought the living room set. So she took that. She took everything. She took even the toothpaste. So I was left on an airbed again, Aaron, on a flat screen. I always had a flat screen and an airbed. I was left with just that in this big house on on the beach. And I didn't care as long as I could lay down, I'm all right. So, uh, Aaron, you want to come in here?
This is definitely some crazy stuff, man. It's like every chance that you possibly get to get it right,
I end up on an airbed.
you always end up getting involved with some. There's always some character has to show up. It's like literally your life is like a you're basically a living, walking, talking liability. That's
That's
basically
right.
your life is a liability waiting to happen. My goodness. I mean,
Okay.
so then what? And then, of course, I would also like you to walk towards the direction of, how you became blind, where you are today,
It's
what you do
coming.
today,
It's happening right now. It's coming right.
well, let's happen. Make it happen. I'm not stopping you. Make it happen.
Okay. All right. So now I moved into a house in Belize in a really, really, really rich neighborhood. The house is like 1 million US dollars. It's like a prison, the way the house is fenced and wall all the way around. And the landlord was my friend. His name is Mark, and his wife name is Leticia. We're really, really close friends and stuff. But I'm living upstairs, and every room has a 60-inch TV, PlayStation, big balcony, a deck. So and the yard was so big it can park 60 cars. So all my cars were there. So I'm just living there, going to work, living there. Now, my problem, Aaron, is that I love younger women, and no woman that I've ever mentioned here worked. So I'm the one who's paying the bills and taking care of everything, Aaron. So Mark's wife, she didn't get along. After a while, she never got along with my girlfriend because she realized that this girl is a freeloader. You know what I'm saying? She's just living off me because I remember one day I came home and I saw 6 people in my house, and it was 5 girls and 1 guy, and she was like, "Oh, they want to spend the night over and da da da." So I said, "That's fine." The one guy, I started to talk to him, and she told me that it's one of her friend's boyfriend. So I ended up cooking him some dinner and stuff, and we ate and da da da. Anyway, 2 weeks after, I found out that she was cheating on me with that guy, and she brought him in my house. So I broke up with her, and I started to listen to the landlord's wife and thing. But to speed up things a little bit, I moved, and I moved closer to my businesses. And about a year after, Mark and his wife were missing. So they had a huge pit bull. His name was Blue. So I was like, there's no way somebody could get in that house and kidnap them or something. But anyway, he was missing and stuff, and uh, everybody was looking for him. And then there's a highway there that they just built, and they found him in the bushes with his wife. They were shot in the head. They killed both of them. And I was like, wow. And this is like a year after I moved from there, and I was like, man, that's so sad. But anyways, I started to do a radio show down there, just a live on the internet. And I was coming home one night to my house, driving on the back road. No, at this point, I'm lonely. Had no girlfriends or whatever, just random sex. So I'm going home now. And I noticed I could barely see the road. So I started to, like, just look at the white line to guide me home. And I made it home. And I looked at my phone. I could see the texts. So I bought a reading glasses, and yeah, everything was fine. I started using the reading glasses, but I still went to the eye doctor, and he told me I had cataracts. So I came back to Miami now, and I said, "Let me see what's going on with my eyes." So the the eye doctor told me I had cataracts, but he wants me to go to a specialist at the Eye Institute in Miami. So I went there, and after doing some scans and stuff like that, the doctor told me I had detached retinas. So he says he has to do the surgery quick and stuff. So he tried to reattach my left eye, and he did a cataract surgery too. He did both. So he changed the lens and stuff, and cost me a lot of money, but I did it. So went back to the hospital. He took off the bandages, and I couldn't see out of that eye still. So he told me, this is his exact words, maybe you're watching TV one day and your eyesight is going to come back in that eye. So me thinking that he couldn't fix the left, how is he going to fix the right? You know what I'm saying? And I'm barely seeing out of the right. I don't want to damage anything. So I went back to Belize. I was just living. Then my eyes started to get worse. Worse, worse, to the point where I would go with girls and they had to carry me, lead me. But I could still read a text with reading glasses because I've never had prescription glasses in my whole entire life. So now things are getting bad with the eyes. So I say, let me come back to Jamaica. So I came back to Jamaica, sold all my stuff, came back here to Jamaica. I was living with my sister and stuff. So started seeing eye doctors here, and they're telling me, yes, I can do surgery. So I did more surgeries here. This one doctor I know, he took a lot of money from me. He said that he could help me, but he didn't help me. And he was going home one day, and he got a heart attack, and he was trying to drive home and drive to the hospital, and he crashed and died. So I left his office note, went to our next doctor, and they were like, "Oh yes, yes. All you need is a reattachment." They told me the procedure and da da da. So this eye doctor now has a facility which is about 2 hours away from his office. And he says, your doctor is not even Jamaican. She's coming from Santo Domingo. So I said, okay, fine. So the doctor said she wanted to see me. The surgery was 9 a.m. Thursday morning. And she wanted to see me Wednesday evening. So I hired a nurse to go with me. My sister hired a nurse. My friend came with me. The driver. We booked hotel rooms, which is 2 hours away, right beside the surgical ward. I'm terrified as hell. Terrified here because I'm saying I'm glimpsing out of one eye, and if they do the surgery on this one eye, um, I'll be blind, like fully blind. So now we booked the hotel rooms, we packed up our luggages, stopped to see the doctor. We went in her office. She looked in my eyes. She was doing all for and then she said, "You're not a candidate for surgery." I remember this like it was yesterday. My sister is a real powerful person, so I remember walking back to the car. So now the surgery is cancelled after we rented the hotel rooms, packed everything, paid what we could pay and everything, paid all the money. I remember walking back to the car and I felt like I was just walking on the clouds. I'm not crying yet, but I was like, what am I going to do now? In all my life, all the situations I've been in and escape all those bad situations. I'm like, I'm finally caught now. I remember my sister walking up to the door, the car door. I'm sitting there, I'm in the passenger side. And she says, "Don't worry about this, Bobby. We got this." So I came home. My cousin was here from Canada, Angie. And I remember going into the bed. So the nurse is here with me. She spent the whole night. My cousin came in the bed. Everybody was just around me. They didn't want to leave. My friend was there, a younger guy. And I just started to cry. And my cousin started to cry and she hugged me up. And then my sister ordered some Chinese food and that kind of cheered me up because I love Chinese food. But that's where it started, Aaron. That's where the whole blindness thing started. And
So then short time later you become fully blind, right?
no,
Oh.
I'm still glimpsing.
Ah, okay, you still have usable vision. Right. Right.
It wasn't even really usable, but I could help myself to go around and I couldn't read a text. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yes.
Yeah. I couldn't read a text. Not even with glasses.
I understand. Right.
So now, the little guy that was staying with me, he's a young guy. Is my friend's grandson. I said to him, I said, his name is Shane. I'll never forget him because he was there for me through thick and thin. I said, Shane, you know what? I want you to walk me to the main road, the big highway. And when you see a bus, the biggest bus coming, just push me in front of it. I'll pay you to do it. And he said, no. He said, no, I'll never do that. And then my sister is very powerful with prayers. And, she is my strength. She is my tower. She is my everything. She went ahead and registered me with the Jamaica Society for the Blind. I never knew what that is. I don't know what blindness is about. Anyways, I went there. I started to do mobility training. Mrs. Wallace trained me. And so I learned how to use a cane. So I started to go to school at the Jamaica Society for the Blind. There I learned how to use a computer without seeing the screen, which is pretty weird because it's all keystrokes. I'm pretty sure you know about these things because I heard you earlier on. on your computer and stuff. So yeah, I started to learn how to gain more independence. And Aaron, I'll tell you this: being blind is a lonely, dark space. But me going to school there on Mondays, Thursdays, I think Wednesdays and Thursdays, I couldn't wait for the next day for school, Aaron. Just to go there and see other blind people like me sitting on a bench and we could talk, we could eat. It's like going back to school, but you're not able to see. And I met so many friends, so many good people, the teachers, everybody was just one big family there at Jamaica Society for the Blind. Then I joined a group called Vision Friends, which is all blind people in there. And I started DJing now for the blind people and the visually impaired. And they keep functions and I would be the one to play for their functions and stuff. So we became really, really close and they became my other column in life to lean on other than my sister and family. And I must say my family has been with me through thick and thin. My niece, her husband, everybody where they could chip in and help, they chipped in and helped. But mentally, the blind people were there for me mentally. And I formed my own group, which was called NJs, and everybody in NJs is a member of Vision Friends. But we also have people in there who are not just blind, people who are paralyzed and stuff. And I ended up DJing for them too. Now, I had a dream of opening a call center and hiring only blind people, which I am going to do. I never give up on that thought. But what I did first, Aaron, I opened my own radio station. It's called Blind Spot Radio. And everybody on Blind Spot Radio is fully blind. So we get to talk about our testimonies and stuff. I mean, people with brain tumors that got their optical nerve damage. You have people in there, like our director was born blind. There's my best friend in there, King. He was a fireman and he's just like me. He got blind like 3 years ago too. And we bonded so well that now we have our own radio station and it's called Blind Spot Radio. And it's fully blind. So it's a blind spot. Yeah, so hot. And you can step in now, Aaron.
Well, so that's what you do now. So basically you run that, right?
Right,
And
right,
very, very good.
right,
Well, as we start to walk to the end of a fascinating episode, and you've really been through the journey, but I think it really resolved itself,
right,
in your spiritual way by you, becoming blind and needing to kind of redefine yourself. That's overwhelmingly obvious to me is that you kind of needed a reformation. You were
right,
doing a lot of good, but quite frankly, if I can be frank, and I can,
right.
you were also either, and I know you didn't mean to, but you were also mixing with the wrong crowd a lot all those years. You know,
Absolutely. There, there,
you were, and I'm not saying it to be dramatic or to be, I'm not painting you this way, but
right.
I'm not intending to paint you this way at all, and I'm not, but you were unintentionally running with the wrong people, as we say. And I
Yes.
think, God saw that. And I think that they realized that, look, you kind of need to kind of reset. And I think that's really what this is about. Yeah. So
Right.
now you do. Yeah.
He put me to a full stop because I wasn't paying attention to my kids, and I have 4 daughters too.
Yeah.
And they're all grown now and they're all doing good and stuff. But I wasn't paying attention. There's two in DC and two in California.
Yeah. 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 Sure. Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
So considering that today, as we walk towards the end of a beautiful conversation and all the beautiful
yeah.
work you do around the community, and trust me when I tell you, you haven't lost me this easily. And I have a lot of ideas for stuff you're going to do around the Aaron's Opinion family for sure, man.
Right.
But considering that you gave out too much information about your own past, so what do you really want to know about me? I'm sure you have a lot of questions for Aaron Richmond. What do you really want to know about me?
All right. I'll tell you why I'm gonna ask you this question. I have two questions for you.
I know you're going to have two of them.
Um, our director on the station,
Right.
Denisha, She literally was born blind, so she doesn't know what red is or yellow or blue. And I'm just fascinated by her smartness, her achievement in school, the things that she does. Like it's just like she can see.
Right.
I have an ex-friend. His name is King, Shani. These people, Aaron. I want to ask you. You were born blind, right?
I was born with glaucoma, and I've had many
Uh,
surgeries to give myself some usable vision, but I'm still certainly a blind person, and I can't read print or I can't drive a car, things like that. So I am definitely blind. Yes.
well, me and my friend who is blind tried to drive the other day. We just put the car in the road, and he put his cane through the passenger side, and I put my cane through the driver's side, and we tried to tap down the road to drive, but we didn't reach anywhere. It didn't even move. So, but to say, I mean, I always ask her too. Like, I'm amazed because I got many years of seeing the world. You haven't seen the world, and how do you remain so positive and so
Well,
strong?
here's the thing. I do have usable vision, so in my own way, I do see the world. But you are right. I was never sighted, and I could have never bought a car like you did. So you're right about
Right.
that. I think, what it really comes down to is I have figured out in an odd way and in a lot of different ways, I have come to accept that life is bad. So I need to figure out where is the good, you know, that most of the things that have happened to me are pretty bad stuff. Occasionally something good happens. Occasionally, I have a lot of success in my own career, my own podcasting as you're experiencing now.
Right.
There's a lot of success there, but there's also a lot of negativity that I have to emotionally filter and
Right.
emotionally process each day, to be able to get myself to where I am now. So
Yes.
the answer of where do you find the positive? Well, first of all, you have to accept that most of the things that are going to happen are going to be pretty bad things. And then after
Okay.
that, then you have to figure out, okay, so if this is as good as it gets, then I might as well enjoy it and figure out what to do with it. And that's what I've tried to do in my own life. Of all the stuff that didn't go my way, of all the stuff that didn't work, and all the people that, quite frankly, all the people that don't listen to Aaron's opinion, all the people we've pissed off over the years, and the people that, oh, go to hell, we don't care about
Yeah.
you, you're dead to me, those types of people. What you have to do is you have to process that and you have to say, well, fine then. Fine. That's
Wow.
okay.
Wow.
If that's really what you think, then I'm at peace with you too. And that's what you have to process. How do you process it? I have no idea because there's a lot of really negative stuff that really wears me out. And
It
and
does.
there's
It happens to
it's
me every day.
really
Cause
depressing. It's
that
really
when you have to
hard.
wait
Yeah.
on somebody to do things for you,
Right. Yeah. That gets old too sometimes. Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. And your second question, what else do you want to know?
If somebody was giving you $10 million
Hmm.
or your eyesight, which one would you take?
In other words, if the choice was $10 million or to have vision,
Yes.
oh, I'd go with the $10 million
No.
easily. That's easily
Yes. Let me
because
tell you why I think you said that. Because you were born blind.
yeah,
So you're happy. Oh, excuse me.
that's okay.
You're happy with yourself.
You're right. I think that is a
So
lot. I think that's a lot of it. You're absolutely
so
right. Yeah.
so once with blindness, I think once you can find happiness,
Right.
then you wouldn't mind being blind.
I guess. I
And
guess
now
you just sort of accept it. It's just part of your existence. And like
that's
I
the
tell
first stage.
people,
If you can't accept it, then you're gonna be in
but
problem.
I also understand because I've spoken and I'm starting to get it now a little bit more than I did when I was younger, that when you become blind later, it's a journey. Blindness for you is a journey. For me,
Oh, it
it's not
is.
the same,
I would
you
want
know?
my sight back in because I would say I mean
Yeah.
I was used to having money. I want my sight back because I want to I want to look at my kids again. I want to see
Sure.
you know.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it works both ways
It does. It does. But you
because if you
you
have
have
$10
to
million
process
here, you can
your
get all the
difference.
help you want in the world. You can hire
Right.
10 nurses to look after you. You wouldn't
Hmm.
even have to pick up a fork. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Sure. Sure.
But
Your difference is you have to process becoming blind, and you have to reinvent yourself. Like I said, you needed a reset.
Right.
And the reality is that I had a different life experience. And most of the things, quite frankly, most of the things that you experienced are bad stuff.
Right.
The way you tell it is very compelling. It's very cute and entertaining and endearing the way you tell all the horrible stuff that happened. But my God, your life, you've had a pretty bad life. You've had a lot of success,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah.
your life has basically just been a punishment. I mean, going from one horrible person to the next, surviving
Yes.
all those people,
Yes.
and I'm not judging you, making the
Right.
choices you made or didn't make, that's you. That's your life. You made those choices. Now, the way I see it is now, Bobby Chin, or
Right.
really in my heart, I'll just call you Bobby the Chin if you don't
Right.
mind.
Right. Right.
That's that last name that fits you, Bobby Chin. You're a chin. You're you're
Yeah.
you're like a chip off the old block. That's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
how I think. But really, what this all comes down to is now that you're blind, and now that you've been through this,
Right.
you can do the right thing. And you can make good choices from here. You can have a great experience with Blind Spot Radio. You can keep helping people. As we say here at Aaron's Opinion, you can continue to help one person today and help a million people tomorrow. And
Right.
that's what you, Bobby Chin, can do. Moving
Right.
forward, you can make good choices. And
I was
still,
ne- I was never selfish. So if I could make my
yeah,
blind friends happy,
you would.
uh, that makes me happy.
Well,
And
now you have a lot of friends from all over the community. And once we get you hooked
I
up
want
with
to
my,
reach out to every blind person because
I'll
on
let
the
you.
on the radio station.
We'll talk about that, by
Um,
the way. We'll talk about the radio station and
right. Yeah. Yeah.
and stuff that we can do off air and things like that. And by the way, you know that I know many other radio people who are also blind all over the world. So we'll get your radio station on the air. Don't worry. We'll
Right.
we'll make sure that the world knows who Bobby Chin is. And
Right.
after this crazy conversation, I don't think there wouldn't be anyone in the world who wouldn't know who Bobby Chin
Well,
is because
everybody really knows me because the last
yeah.
interview I did on the Fix podcast, it got a lot of views and it's up there like in the thousand, like hundreds of thousands. So
Oh, you're a character.
yeah.
Your
And I
life has been an
still have
experience.
so much more I haven't told you. I had to skip because I didn't want it to get too boring. You know.
That definitely was not boring. That was definitely fascinating and
Yeah.
very endearing. But as we get to know each other in the community, I'm sure you'll continue to share your silly stories and
Right.
your whole life is a blast. But
It's all
okay,
about
man.
networking, Aaron, and your
Well, that's
podcast.
definitely what you did.
I will
Yeah,
surely blast it on my platform so that people become aware of your podcast. You see what I'm saying?
we'll help you do that,
Yes,
and we'll connect a little later today. We'll connect off air and I think
yes,
things like
yes.
that.
Yes. Mm.
But I did want to give you one more question. So Bobby Chin,
Yes.
if you can ask me only one more question to really
Yeah.
make me sweat to see if I'm worth my salt as a podcaster. What final question do you really want to ask?
Um, how old are you?
33.
Oh, you're young.
Yeah. And how old are you?
In my 50s.
Oh, you're old.
No, no, not old.
So if someone wants to get in touch with Bobby Chin, which quite frankly I think you have probably attracted people to your story just as many, you've probably scared away just as many people as you've attracted. But if someone's brave enough or if someone's foolish enough to get in touch with you
Yeah.
and all the liabilities that surround you, how would they get in touch with you? Yeah.
Oh,
How
my
can you be reached?
I can be reached at my phone number is 876-357-7228. That's a Jamaica number. I have a Miami number which is 786-233-1005. My email is B as in Bobby, C as in Charlie, new music 80 at gmail.com. And I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on everything. Favorite,
Okay.
flip, and everything.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely get connected. All right then. Well, thank you so much, and we'll definitely click the link in the description and all of that. But until
Okay.
next time, seriously, Bobby, I wish you please have a safe, healthy, productive, and happy day in the great nation of Jamaica.
Jamaica. Yes.
And please just moving forward, let's just make good choices, less liabilities, less. I don't want to hear some story about you going into a store. Don't go into stores again. Okay, you go into a
No.
store. You go into a store. You go on a life adventure. Let's just Instacart. Okay, just get it online. Okay, don't go into stores again. He's
Right, you're
Bobby.
absolutely right. I'm thinking of opening a club again though.
You don't.
Yeah,
You don't. Please save my sanity. Bobby, come on. You're killing me. You're
no,
killing me.
no,
Don't open the
this
club.
this club is gonna be called Club Braille.
Oh yeah, right. Of course, that'll be the normal club, right? Where no weird blind people show up, right? Exactly. Okay,
Yes.
man.
Okay,
Man, oh
Aaron, it
man.
was
All right. Well,
nice.
I'll have to figure out where that is. All right. He's Bobby Chin. I'm Aaron's
That's right.
opinion. Man, oh man, that was a blast, everyone. All right. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Okay,
Cheers,
Aaron, you have
everybody.
a great evening. Thank
You
you
do the
so
same
much,
and
man.
have a wonderful day, everybody. And
You
until
too.
next time, help one person today, help 1 million people tomorrow.